And now, Rob on the road, exploring Northern California.
And he has been called an art phenom, and you are watching him at work. Artist Tim Collom. Good to see you, Tim.
Good to see you, Rob.
We are here in your studio, and it is amazing. These creations are stunning. Tell me about them.
Thank you very much. It's really a late night release for me, and it's one of those things where I can express it on canvas with tons of color, tons of texture, and really just get as much paint on a canvas as possible.
This has exploded for you in the past 4 years.
Right.
You've gone professional with this in the past 4 years.
Right.
Has it exceeded your wildest imagination that you are becoming a household name for your art?
Yeah, you know, to me, it's just the reactions that I get are more and more where I get surprised. And honestly, it's one of those things where I, give somebody a painting or surprise them or something like that. And I think that for me, that's the best thing, is their smile. And yeah, it's a little hard to get used to. It's a little uncomfortable at times because people are starting to get to know my work a little bit more. And but for me, it's just the same thing. And it's me late night in a garage and really, or in a studio, and just basically, just working away.
We have some legends in Northern California that are known all around the world for their artistic work. And you, Tim, have been compared to them.
Yeah, those sentences are the things that make me really, I'm like, whoa. So
but I see
very
it.
fortunate.
I've interviewed them, and I see the caliber of work.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I'm really fortunate where I live, Rob. And the thing is that I'm around people like Tebow and Condos and Dalkey and Forney and Garibaldi and all these Sacramento icons and people that are in Northern California. And I'm just fortunate to grow up kind of in their playground. So that's, for me, one of those things that I've gotten a chance to see their art firsthand and talk to them, and definitely highly influenced with them. So I take a lot of their own style and each one of them and put it together into my own.
You left one name out of that list.
Who's that?
Collom.
See, that's still hard. A little uncomfortable for me to talk about, absolutely.
You said something when we first started that I picked up on, and you said that sort of a late night release for you.
Sure.
And I was sitting here watching you paint.
Right.
And I felt such peace.
There is. It's an incredible amount of peace. It's something you get lost in. It's almost a dance with a painting and a rhythm that you have. And it's something for me that it takes me to another place. So a lot of the times that I'm painting somewhere that I want to be, or painting somewhere that I've been before. And that's one of those things for me that it's very quiet at times when I obviously don't have music blasting. But sometimes at 12 to 1 in the morning, there's no phone calls, there's no interruptions, there's nothing else, and it's just me, canvas, and some paint.
What is it about these paintings that you think people are connecting with so much?
That's a great question. And I think a lot of it is that people can relate to it. I think they're positive and they're upbeat and bright, and I use a lot of texture. And they're not so defined, and they're not so, I would say, so detailed that people get overwhelmed. It's a pretty simple picture that people look at, even though, as far as recreating some of these pictures are probably a little bit tougher to do. But at the same time, it's where people have been, and a lot of people have been there in these places, or they can relate to it, and they just want something that brightens up a room. And I deal with a lot of perspectives.
It's so interesting that you paint from memory.
Yeah, I do. I mean, memory is a big part. I try to stay away from painting from photography in general, just because I think, in a way, it dilutes what you can do. And for me, it's one of those things where I stay away from it. And a lot of memories come from a feel of where you've been. So it could be an atmosphere. It's something that you've been at it in the coast, and you feel the cold or whatever it is. And then I use a lot of blues and purples, and it transitions into a painting.
And it transitions into an energy.
Right.
When we opened the door here to your studio, and I saw all the color and the size,
right,
be them small or large,
right.
I felt happy.
Right. Well, that's what I love. I mean, I love the ability to give art to people, or people buying my art, or whatever it is, and especially with the charity aspect too, where I can raise money and people, it's a positive outlet. People want something that's in their house that they know that, you know, there's a lot of positivity coming from it.
So what is the message of Tim Collom?
For me, I think it's just being positive and upbeat and giving back as much as I can, and doing whatever possible to share what's going on in my mind as far as the art is concerned. It's really just a pleasure, and I'm very grateful to where I'm at right now.
And I'm grateful to be here with you as well.
Perfect.
Good to see you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Good to see you too.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
artist Tim Collom here in his Sacramento studio.